Hello there. Welcome to the basement. Now, like I said in my last video, normally my video content is related to nerdy things, like Marvel, DC, Star Wars, all that kind of fun stuff. However, and that's a lot of what, as I put in my description, I talk about things that other people talk about while chilling in the basement. However, it isn't just nerdy things that are talked about while people are chilling in the basement. Real world issues come up a lot too. So with that in mind, I'm now continuing my breakdown and thoughts on the 3 Michigan ballot proposals that are going to be voted on this coming Tuesday. And my last video, I covered the first 2. And I'm dedicating an entire video to Proposal 3 because, as you will see, Proposal 3, it covers one of the 2 highest, the 2 top hot button / wedge issues that are being happening in the country literally right now. So, Michigan Ballot Proposal 22-3. A proposal to amend... before I continue, once again, this is directly from michigan.gov. A proposal to amend the state constitution to establish new individual right to reproductive freedom, including right to make all decisions about pregnancy and abortion, allow state to regulate abortion in some cases, and forbid prosecution of individuals exercising established right. This proposed constitutional amendment would establish new individual right to reproductive freedom, including right to make and carry out all decisions about pregnancy, such as prenatal care, childbirth, postpartum care, contraception, sterilization, abortion, miscarriage management, and infertility. It also would allow state to regulate abortion after fetal viability, but not prohibit if medically needed to protect a patient's life or physical or mental health. Forbid state discrimination in enforcement of this right. Prohibit prosecution of an individual or person helping a pregnant individual for exercising rights established by this amendment. And finally, it will invalidate state laws conflicting with this amendment. Should this proposal be adopted? Yes or no? Before I begin my thoughts on the proposal itself, just so far as those bullet points that I just read were, I don't really have any problem with the language in and of itself as a proposal. Nothing sounds outlandish or freaky or odd or overreaching. So the language itself I have no problems with whatsoever. I'm going to issue a trigger warning right now. What I'm about to say, everything I'm about to say is going to trigger some people. Depending on what I say, it's going to trigger one group or it can trigger another group. So just fair warning. All I'm going to ask is that even though you are triggered, that you hear me out completely until I come to my conclusion. So, Proposal 3. To begin with, for those of you who don't know me at all, which is most of you, I'm a preacher's kid. I was raised in a Protestant Christian home. Most people would say that know me now, that knew me back then as a kid would say I'm now walking probably the crooked wide path as opposed to the straight and narrow for the most part. Whatever. But given my own way of living in many situations, I still personally, just me, believe that, actually I should say I don't believe abortion should be as big a form of birth control as, say, condoms or IUDs or those little suppositories or what have you. Even the morning after pill, although that was a little twitchy based on my beliefs, so that's not a hill I want to fight on. That's not a hill I'm willing to fight and die on. So maybe I just call the morning after pill contraception also. I don't think abortion should be a contraceptive. That's just me. However, unlike many people who are against abortion, I've got 4 big exceptions. Obviously, 1, life of the mother. 2, victims of rape. I've known enough victims of rape to know they're not going to want a reminder of that incident once they finally have worked their way back to some semblance of normalcy. Number 3, incest. Now, I know some people automatically associate rape with incest, but if you think about it, there's enough consensual incest happening for there to be jokes about it, and that's about as far as I'm going to go with that. But let's just say that incest does need to be its own category because consensual incest does happen. And again, if a pregnancy results from anyone inside of third cousins engaging in said incest, then that child, yeah, if the mom doesn't want to keep it, I totally will understand, because there's a humongous chance that that child will be genetically toast in some fashion or another. Now, those first 3 are the ones most widely accepted as exceptions by by any groups or most groups that are against abortion. I believe in a 4th exception, though. That exception being minor status. I've seen enough teen moms in real life and of course on MTV to know that a teenage mom generally is not ready to be a mom in any way, shape, or form, mentally, physically, anything. There's always exceptions. There are definitely some women who have had children in their teens that are in and of themselves good people, and their children have turned out really well. So, but in general, the odds are much greater for a teen mom being a train wreck and that affecting the child. So for me, if you're under 18 and you do not want to keep your baby, I get it. So 4th exception, minor status. Now, all of that being said, while those that are pro-choice are highly triggered right now, allow me to say this also. In order for any state, since Roe v. Wade since the Dobbs versus Jackson decision kicked that decision-making process back to the states and removed the federal protections that this country's been used to since the 70s. Any state legislature that votes to ban abortion needs to also be prepared to deal with the fallout of said ban. That fallout being a whole lot of women in trouble and a whole lot of kids that they are now going to be giving birth to that are going to be in even bigger trouble. Any state that wants to ban abortion had better dip into the pockets or start printing money, and they need to fully and completely revamp and upgrade the foster care system. Everyone knows foster care systems in states are a big fucking joke. You got too many kids living with people that are really only in it for their checks. They get super basic food and clothing, barely any individual attention if they got a lot of kids up in that house. It's just fucked. Ask any social worker who works for any state government. They'll tell you the foster system, as it stands now, is garbage. It's understaffed, underworked, just under everything. And that would need to be fixed before any abortion ban goes into effect. Also, if the state's not willing to step up, then the other large group behind the politicians who are against abortion is, of course, the church. They are very pro-life, and of course they are. They're religious. If they are also unwilling to step up, that is a huge problem, because somebody, somewhere, is going to have to deal with the fallout of all these new women, all these new mothers having all these new babies. Since Republicans in general are not fond of entitlement programs, they're always trying to reduce the funding to entitlement programs on every level, federal, state, and local. So obviously they're not going to, given that and other things, I literally do not at all trust any Republican legislature anywhere to do what is necessary to deal with an abortion ban that they may pass, i.e. I don't trust them to revamp and spend a crap ton of money on fixing the foster system. I don't trust them to spend a lot of money to revamp the adoption system, to streamline that and make that easier. I can't trust them to do anything that would actually help deal with the fallout of an abortion ban. Nor do I trust the church. The church has been way too involved in being a political animal and trying to legislate their beliefs instead of just sharing their beliefs, which is all that they should be doing, is just sharing. Not judging, not condemning, not running around dipping into politics. The church is not there to be the church was never designed to be a political animal. It should never become a political animal, and it should not be a political animal now. And since it is, and the church is too busy not sharing their message, not just sharing their message and their love, which is all they really should be doing. They're too busy trying to get legislation passed and, become mega churches and all this nonsense, instead of concentrating on their basic function, which is first of all loving everybody, not condemning everybody, loving everybody. And because of the reasons I just said, I don't trust the church to pick up the slack and help take care of the fallout from any abortion ban either. So, despite my own personal feelings on abortion, given the reality of the situation, that those who are most loudly against abortion are also the ones who are not willing to or capable of taking care of all the fallout and new mothers and children that are going to be created from an abortion ban, like the one currently sitting on the books that at this point is merely under an injunction from the court in my state of Michigan, at least anyway. I have to recommend and will be casting a yes vote on Proposal 3. And I don't want to. I'm not even going to lie about that. I don't want to. But I must bow to reality. And the reality is, those that are for abortion bans cannot be trusted to deal with the fallout. That's it. So, again, because of that, I recommend and will be casting a yes vote on Proposal 3. Those are my thoughts. Now, all that fun stuff being done, most of my content will, like I said, be primarily nerdy things. However, one nerdy thing I know Jack Diddley Squad about is gaming. I'm not a big gamer, basically because I suck. And, I like, there's, any number of other things I occupy. Gaming takes a lot of time to get really, really good at it. And A, I don't really have the time, and B, I don't really have the natural skills. But if you do like gaming and gaming streams, you need to check out my buddy Justified MF. And to find him, that's Justified MF. That is the word justified. Capital, and it's like this: capital J, USTI, FIED, capital M, capital F. Justified MF. Great game streamer, very involved with his chat, just like I would be very involved with you if any of you would ever leave a freaking comment on my video. So check him out if you want to check out some dope game streams. He's a cool guy, and he's fun to watch. So, all that being said now, and like I always say when it comes to the end of these vids, there's always a good time to be had when you're chilling in the basement.